And here's another headache for travelers. Getting through U.S. Customs is taking more time, sometimes hours. What's the problem? Scott McCartney has been tracking this for the Wall Street Journal and joins us now. So, Scott, what is the problem? Why is this happening now?
The problem is there's been an increase in international travel and no increase at all for Customs and Border Protection officers at airports. So you have a shortage of officers, very long lines, extreme waits, people missing connections, and just a big mess.
Scott, in today's Wall Street Journal, you describe 3-hour waits when people have gotten off of sometimes 10, 17-hour flights from overseas. They're waiting to go through those lines there. Where are the waits the worst and why?
Well, the big hubs are taking the biggest hits, and certainly at peak times. Miami is sort of ground zero for this problem. The airport has had to take an auditorium and put 1,000 cots in there for people who are stranded overnight because they've missed connections because of those 3-hour lines. New York JFK is bad, but we've seen waits double at Dallas at different times of the day, an hour average wait in San Francisco. So it's all over the country. And you know, the basic, in the spring, what we saw were waits that really were summer-like. But this started last summer with increases, and some of it's because CBP, because of sequestration, hasn't been paying overtime for those peak periods this spring, and some of it is just they've essentially had a freeze on officers for 3 years and a lot more travelers.
And you just raised a point that I was going to ask you about sequestration. I mean, one way to solve this problem is you hire more people, or you just add more staff. Is it because of the federal government is cutting back on jobs that this has been created, or something else?
No, this certainly started long before sequestration, but I think it has exacerbated the problem. Airports are complaining, Los Angeles, Miami in particular, that they're not getting overtime. They're not getting additional officers at peak periods, and that's a real problem. CBP says they've actually dealt with sequestration by making cuts elsewhere. Part of the problem is airline schedules have spread out, so now they have busy periods in the early morning or late at night, so that's hurt the peak periods. But also CBP does say they have held back on overtime in anticipation of this summer. So they've not spent the dollars this spring, stockpiling for summer, and we hope that helps.
I'm assuming this is bad for U.S. citizens, probably worse for non-U.S. citizens, but let me ask you, you describe some programs that can help you get around or mitigate some of these long lines. What are they, and what do they cost, and how do you sign up for them?
Yeah, you're exactly right, Tyler. There are longer lines for non-U.S. citizens. It really hurts visitors to the United States more than U.S. citizens. The best program, really one of the best government programs going, is called Global Entry. It's a trusted traveler program for U.S. citizens. You pay $100. You have to go through a background check, go for an interview with a CBP officer. But once you're in the program, you bypass the lines. You walk up to a kiosk. You on a touchscreen answer the questions. Put your fingerprints in the machine, you get a receipt, and you're on your way. It's a terrific program. It also gets you into TSA's pre-check program, so you get expedited screening at TSA checkpoints as well. You can apply online. Applications have surged, the CBP says. There are actually long waits now for interviews because these long lines have produced a lot of interest in the program.
Love that.
Sounds good to me. I'm about to sign up. Global Reentry. Scott McCartney of the Wall Street Journal, thank you so much.
Good to be with you.